Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be my impressions on the NECA figures as well as the movie Pacific Rim. If you haven't checked that out, it's a really great movie. I watched it this past weekend. I actually watched it twice in 3D and one in with a D box. Pretty much you're in a rumble seat. It's actually quite fun. Worth a try, actually, especially for this movie where it seems like you're inside Jaegers and just a great experience overall. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with the figures and pretty much wrap it out with the movie, but this is just an impression, not so much for review. Let's start with Gimpy Danger, pretty much the main character of the movie. It's kind of centered towards him. Really great. This really portrays him really well. It's mostly a kind of like a melee fighter. Doesn't have well, he does have a kind of like a mid-range weapon, which you will see in the movie. And this is a really great detailed, really nice. The only problem with this one, it's too, well, I think most NECA figures are, for this particular line, they're kind of stiff. Not much articulation, especially for the elbow. It is quite limited. But nonetheless, the waist is fairly good articulated, and you get fairly decent knee, and you have this movement here on the ankle, and which is not too bad. But again, it's like a giant. Just I wish he can move his legs a little bit further apart. It's just like a towering giant. Which, what it is. Yeah, but not too bad. And it pretty much really portrays Gimpy Danger. Next up is Crimson Typhoon, powered by the Way triplets. Really nice, and you got that really nice red going on. And kind of like this one a little bit more. Well, partly because he has more articulation than Gimpy Danger. You get that high in the legs. Really great. Although, kind of wish he can turn this sideways for the ankle for a more wider stance. But nonetheless, it does work. Better elbow articulation here. And as well as shoulder here. Really great. One thing that I've been following or kind of see on other people's review is this is articulation. You can go up here, but not on this one. But probably mine does, because I've actually broke mine in the process. I did modify this, adding I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a 6mm revoltech joint. Basically, I think what happened is a double jointed, but the ball going to the shoulder is fused, maybe from the paint, and you only got that ball inside the shoulder to give you that movement. So it's just gonna give you that movement like so, and you're missing this. If you want to do it, you might have to break that joint or cut that in half. You might have to drill out or carve out that fused ball joint, or just a ball, and drill through. Let's see if I can. There we go. Drill through that. I think I use I forgot what the diameter is. Maybe 1.5mm. It's pretty much the same as the revoltech joint, and the revoltech joint goes in really well. You might have to drill another going down there, so it goes in really. It's a nice fit. The 6mm revoltech joint. So if you want to do that, you can, and it actually works really well. You get that nice ratchet. And that's pretty much it for this guy. And I actually like this a lot now. Once I got that fixed, you get more I know it's kind of silly, but I don't know. Alright, so that's it for Crimson Typhoon. Next up is Knifehead, which is a really great kaiju, very menacing. Kind of has that hammerhead shark look, although it's kind of pointing forward. Just like it's kind of like a sword, like serrated which is very devastating in the movie. I really like this one too. Despite being limited articulation, you have posable or movable shoulder, elbow, both ends. This kind of like the smaller hind legs they're immobile, they're fixed. You do have movement here and a little bit of knee articulation, no ankle. And one thing that's my little gripe here is the tail. Tail is fixed. It's kind of like on a wire inside, but this kind of prevents you from moving it on one side to give you a better balance. So it's fixed and you can only do so much before it tips over. So you gotta balance it out with the arms high up, and I think a wacky pose where he's running, which is kind of funny. But this is actually quite great, and if you're wondering how it stands right next to a Godzilla, well, I'm not sure they are up to scale. I think, well, Godzilla, well, depending on which Godzilla, I've been informed that certain Godzillas are taller, depending on what year or which version of Godzilla you're watching. But it's quite nice. And let's just put Gimpy Danger here. And Gimpy Danger is really tall. There we go. It's quite nice. And for those Gundam fans out there, you're probably wondering how big a Gundam would be compared to this guy. Actually, I saw like a scale diagram of, I think Gundams are actually smaller. So if you have one of these guys, it's probably even smaller. Oh, there goes the ale pack. Let me pop that back in. There we go. So this is a Strike Gundam. It's probably a little bit smaller than that, but I got this figure from Ying Hobbies and Toys. This is the Strike Gundam or Ale Strike from the Assault Kingdoms, which is a really great line. You get a really articulated small figure, which I will review later on. But yeah, probably a Gundam will be that high, or maybe up to the knee. Quite small. I wonder how big it against a Psycho Gundam. Maybe a Psycho Gundam would be as tall as the Jaegers. And pretty much now I'm just gonna talk about the movie without spoiling it, or try not to, or maybe there's a spoiler, so just giving you guys a heads up. So the movie is really great. I really liked it. It kind of brings in, having giant robots. In terms of Gundam, I'm a big fan, and kaiju, Godzilla. So having two things I really like and putting it all together in a movie, and which is also a whole new theme for movies, because this kind of opens up for having more monsters. If you haven't heard that they're gonna make a Godzilla in 2014 or maybe 15. Not quite sure when it's gonna be released, but eventually. And maybe they'll make a live-action Gundam again. Aside from that old one. But who knows? It actually will be nice to see a CG Gundam having it in a movie. Not just a 2D, more a 3D. Maybe one day. But yeah, getting back to the movie, I really liked it. Although, despite having it to be 2 hours long, or 2 hours and 20 minutes around that time, seems like it's short. There's a lot of things that are kind of cut off due to the time constraint. Kind of wish that there's more backstory for the other Jaegers. Again, the movie is concentrated on Gimpy Danger. You get to see it getting pretty much get an upgrade later on in the movie. But yeah, I kind of wish there's more backstory, especially for Crimson Typhoon and the Strike or Eureka, Cherno Alpha. What else was there? Even the what was that one? Something with Tango. I forget the what's the Japan's Jaeger. You only get a little bit of a like a little bit of a what do you call it? Well, we only get a little bit of preview, so not much. So I kind of wish there was a little bit more background on that. I think it's well, again, actually, I'm thinking maybe it would be great to have a prequel to this, where they show their different Jaegers, struggle fighting the kaiju. That would be great if they made a prequel, and I think they might be even making a sequel to this. So maybe we'll see Gimpy Danger again, as well as the other Jaegers that are gonna be produced. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Also, in terms of the character, there's a lot of great actors in the movie, especially Charlie Day, the scientist, and Hannibal Chow. I forgot his real actor's name. Even the Raleigh and Mako, great actors and actress. And it's actually quite nice, especially the connection they have with each other. It's actually the try not to spoil the movie again, but it's more of a they connect as a partner, and having that what do you call this, the oh, there we go. Finally looking up the word I'm looking for, drift. Yeah, the whole mind drifting is kind of cool. Being able to link up and share the pretty much the mental load on the piloting the Jaegers, and yeah, it's a really interesting idea. Although there are parts that are kind of baffles me, especially, well, not to spoil the movie again, but the wall. There's a wall of to protect them from the kaijus, which I kind of find it a little absurd. I wish they were to have a different kind of solution or alternative than just a wall. I don't think that will really stop. Kind of reminds me of Attack on Titans. The wall didn't really stop the Titans. But yeah, again, I really like the movie. Hope to see more from the franchise. Looking forward to hopefully another line picks up the Pacific Rim figures. Kind of wish they're more articulated, more gimmicks. But actually the NECA ones are not too bad. Would like to see more. Maybe the second line will be awesome. You might see Strike Eureka, the Journal Alpha, and the Leatherback, some of the kaijus. That'll be great. And what else I should talk about? Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, looking forward to this, and I'm really happy that they've created this movie. Kind of opens up doors to other movie possibilities out there. So there you go. That is my take on Pacific Rim. Again, a great movie. So until then, this is Meads. Thank you for watching. Alright, so drilling on a Jaeger. There's just something weird about this. Great.